Hey guys, so I am out dinking around my garden and I thought I'd just give you a little tour. I have several styles of gardening within my full garden, which you can see behind me here. Let's just go through what I call my orchard garden. I'm going to walk up here to the other end and we'll just start at one end and work our way down. Okay, so this is kind of a view of my full garden. Over here is what I'm going to do today. And I call this my permaculture, food foresty, all of those types of terms, little orchard garden. Over here, you'll see more clean rows, more cultivated. And I'll do that on another day. But for today, let's look at the fun stuff. So this started with a bunch of fruit trees that we just planted all in a row. And last year or the year before, I decided I wanted to try to espalier these fruit trees. Now, I don't know if I'm saying that word right, espalier, but basically it's where you train them to grow along a trellis. You keep them very short. The theory is in the spring, when we have those late frosts, I will be able to throw sheets over these smaller trees and hopefully save some fruit. This spring, I had to do that. I threw sheets over these trees. I'll see if I can find a picture. And I saved a few pieces of fruit, but not a lot. And this is not the climate for fruit trees, and we fully realize that. I am in East Tennessee, and so it's not ideal, but we wanted to try anyway, just because. So that is why you will see this H-brace here, and then these two cables go all the way down clear to the other end to another H-brace, and that is where we are gradually training these trees onto those wires to keep things small. And then I just started planting in between random things. And you'll see as I go down, I'll show you all the different things, but just random things. So at this end, in a pot here, because I have killed two of these plants. No, actually three, because this is the fourth one. This is a lavender. I put it in a pot because I can't seem to keep it alive in the ground. I was doing it down that way. It's a little bit more established, a lot more mulch, and I think it just was too soggy for it. So this lavender plant is doing wonderfully. And then I decided to take advantage of the H-brace and throw a tomato plant in there. And I'm going to use that, just using the cables that are already there as sort of a trellis for my tomato. This here is a mint. This is my chocolate mint. Oh, I love chocolate mint. I had one of these in Colorado before we moved, and I meant to bring a piece with me. And of course, with all the confusion of moving, I forgot, but I found some here. A lady I met had it, and she gave me a piece. And so, yeah, it is also in a pot. I am debating whether I'm going to put it in the ground or not, but right now it's in that pot and it's doing great. Down here, we have some purple coneflower, which I picked these up at, where did I get these? Oh, these are the plants. That's right. I got it at Zor Standard. They actually sell bedding plants. And so I bought these coneflowers from them because I had tried to seed coneflowers several times and they just kept dying. So the seeds were not working. So I just bought some plants and they're doing fantastic. And then we have kind of a blank spot here. I don't like blank dirt. So you'll see my tag there. It actually says old turnip. That's because I had a package of turnip seeds that was pretty old. I have no idea if it's going to sprout or not, but I had this spot. So I thought I would try it. We'll see what happens with that. And then we have a nasturtium down there that I just potted, or I just planted. It's still a little scraggly looking. This is our first tree. This is a peach tree. You'll see we have the branches bent over. Of course, it's pretty full right now, following our Espalier. This is a random pot with just this random fern. I've got a lavender. Okay, you got to smell the lavender. Oh, I love lavender. That is also in a pot. Oh, did I tell you that was lavender over there? That pot is not lavender. The very first one that I started with. Okay, so then I go check. That's rosemary. I gave you the wrong name. Right? This is rosemary. This is not lavender. This over here is my lavender. This is a tree that my husband is growing. I can't remember what it's called. Tim is the tree guy. He could tell you the names of all the trees. And then I have some onions, just a little bit of onions planted in here. And we have an apple tree. This one is younger than the others, so it's smaller. At the base of that apple tree, we threw in a cantaloupe, which looks like we're going to get some fruit. And then my cute little birdhouse that I picked up, and I put a tin roof on it because the old roof was falling apart. Some more random trees. I'm pretty sure these are walnuts. My husband is growing. He's a tree guy. You will notice here, I just put these in the other day. These are actually sweet potatoes, and it is too late to put sweet potatoes in for a harvest, but I actually use sweet potatoes as a cover crop. These vines will grow, they'll get nice and thick, and they'll start covering some of this bare dirt. And I probably will not even dig up what's underneath because whatever stays, it'll all winter kill, and it'll feed the worms. And here is another cantaloupe in a pot with a tree. Some more sweet potatoes. There is another tree, more sweet potatoes. So all these sweet potatoes are here because I had onions in all of these blank spaces that I've harvested. And I don't like bare dirt, so I just try to keep it covered. Yet another, I believe this is a cantaloupe, but this doesn't look like cantaloupe. Gosh, who knows what this is? It's some kind of a melon. We'll have to see what it becomes. And then a pot with oregano in it. My amaranth. This is amaranth. And I had a really heck of a time getting it started. But I got 3 little clumps there. One underneath that basket, one here, and then another basket. You see those baskets? You know what those are? It's dollar store trash cans. They weren't great for little covers for the plants. We've got some calendula and some strawberries back there. Again, these strawberries are mostly just cover crop. I didn't really get any strawberries out of that. Back here is my leaf bin. And I should go over there and see what the temperature is right now. So I create these in the fall, and I actually had 3 of them. I'm down to 2. These are mounded up as high as I can get it, and then it just gradually shrinks and shrinks. I've been throwing extra chicken litter from my chicken house in there, and it'll just sit. And in the fall, this will get spread into my beds. But let's see, what's the temperature say? Ooh, look, it's doing good. So I've got 2 of those going on. One here, one down there, and there was a 3rd one right there. Okay, let me walk back around. This crazy big plant was given to me last year by a friend, and it was just in a little pot, like a little, I don't know, half-gallon size pot. It's just a mum. I have no idea what it's going to look like, but I bet when it blooms this fall, it's going to be beautiful. And we have another apple tree. And this apple tree, you can tell we don't get much fruit around here. Actually got a few apples, survived. And all that one just fell off right in my hand. Darn. Oh well. To keep these safe, I covered them in tulle just because we wanted to try to have a couple of pieces of fruit. Like I said, this is not fruit country. This was a Lowe's rescue plant. Speedwell is what it's called. I have no idea if it's good, for medicinal anything, but it's just a pretty flower. Do you guys go to Lowe's and check out their clearance racks? Yeah, that's where this one came from. And there's just a cute little planter with more oregano. Here is some kale, which is looking a little holy, so I got bugs in there. Some beautiful zinnias that popped up all by themselves. I normally plant a lot of zinnias. This year I decided not to because every year we struggle with Japanese beetles, and it seems like the Japanese beetles were always on our zinnias. These came up just, they just seeded themselves. And you know what? They're clean as a whistle. Japanese beetles have not been touching them at all. And look at what they like to attract. They like the bees, or the bees like the zinnias. So I'll probably go back to planting more zinnias again. There's a nice big comfrey. I have comfrey planted all over the place, just random places. When they get about this big, I'll harvest them. I just cut them down at the base. I like to make a comfrey tea. I just chop it up, put it in a bucket, cover it with rainwater, and let it set. I only go 2 days. I have heard people who will let it set for weeks, but it gets stinky. So 2 days is about the max that I can handle. And here we have another little tiny apple tree. It's just starting to grow. What is that flower? It's not a sunflower. I'm not sure what it is. It volunteered. If you know what it is, tell me in the comments. Let's see, what else? More strawberry cover crop. And this beautiful big thing is a loofah plant. I've never grown a loofah before, but it is liking this spot. I just made a trellis out of a teepee with some poles. Back behind here, we've got mint that is spreading rapidly. It also started as a small plant last year. I've got clover in there. There's another comfrey in there. Letting it go kind of wild because the bees seem to like it. This is a zucchini plant. Now you'll notice I have it going up this trellis. You've probably seen on YouTube where people have zucchini plants going up, straight up, like up a fence post. I did that last year for the very first time and it worked really, really well, except it took a lot of string to get that plant to go up the pole. So I opted to try this. It is just cattle panel kind of laying at an angle. And it has been so much easier. It keeps that plant up off the ground. And yeah. Oh, look. I haven't been able to harvest any zucchini yet. But look, I'm going to get a zucchini probably in a day or two. The zucchinis grow so big. Oh, a cute little mushroom that my neighbor gave me. It's basically a bowl that she put upside down on a piece of branch. And this is another apple tree. I got a tomato that volunteered here. So I am just going up the pole with it. This is some Swiss chard that's kind of getting taken over by the grass. I need to probably get in here and pull that grass. Some sage that is looking a little sad, actually. It's kind of reaching the end of its beautifulness. Cucumber back there, more comfrey, more mint, and this is a pole bean, and this also volunteered from last year. I wasn't going to do pole beans this year, but it volunteered, and I let it go because I had planted a zucchini here and one in the middle and one at this end with the intention of using these poles, and they all three died. Actually, no, this one is still alive, but you will see it is very, very small, and I don't know that it's going to do anything. It's barely alive, but for whatever reason, the zucchini did not like that. Here's some more volunteer tomatoes, some more comfrey. This big old leaf here is horseradish. This is the third summer, I think, second or third. And I don't even use horseradish, or I've never harvested horseradish, I should say. My husband likes horseradish sauce on his sandwiches. So I'm going to have to experiment with that, harvest some and see if I can make sauce. Yet another apple tree. And some volunteer marigolds. Okay, so I laid these pieces of trunks. This is like a leftover scrap from my husband's sawmill. And yeah, they make good stepping stones. And the cool thing is if you lift this up, I won't do it right now, but there will be all kinds of worms. And so it's good for the dirt. Works for me. This beautiful purple plant is, I believe, bee balm. This was also given to me by a friend. It was tiny, and look at it go. It has done so well, and it's actually kind of on the downside now. The flowers are starting to die back. I'm going to split this, and I'm going to make several just bunches all along my whole row because, man, the bees love it. They're in here all over the place right now. Let's see if I can get. They're going fast. They're not going to cooperate with me. Anyway, bee balm. Another volunteer tomato. Here is some chamomile. Looking a little scraggly, but hey, we're growing chamomile. Again, my grass is kind of getting in there, taking over. This is my less beautiful part of the garden. I let it go a little wild on purpose. Yet some more volunteer tomatoes. Can you tell I had tomatoes all in here last year on purpose, and then I didn't put them in here on purpose again? But yeah, they're volunteering, so I'm going to let them grow. This is another little apple tree, and back in the back there, we've got a nice big pumpkin plant. This is called, oh, I lost the name of it. Okay, I'll put it on the screen when I go up to the house and get the name of it, but it's a big white pumpkin. We got this from Seeds for Generations, so if you're familiar with them, we got the seeds from them, and yeah, we'll see if it grows a nice big pumpkin. There's fruit coming on. See, there's one. It's not your traditional orange round pumpkin. It's got a different shape, and it's white, but it's called a pumpkin. This is another summer squash that I am training up. You can see my strings, and I'm just going to go up at an angle and follow that leg of that teepee. That is actually a yellow squash. And then we've got more strawberries in here. This is pretty weedy and overgrown. There was an onion that sprouted up from last year, and it's got seeds on there. I need to get harvested before they fall down. And then we are at the end again. Another comfrey, another tomato. Yeah, so this is my beautiful food forest / permaculture orchard / just throw stuff in the ground and see what grows garden. It's a contrast to an orderly, weed-free, straight rows. I mean, this is a pretty straight row, I guess, but I didn't want to go too crazy with going wild because I like to mow this grass, and the straight line down makes it easy to mow, but yet I can still go do fun stuff. Now, one thing you may have noticed is all along the edges here, I've got planks as an edge. Those are just laid flat. I can ride my lawnmower wheels up on the edge of that, and those are all scraps again from my husband's sawmill. So, use what you got. This helps me to keep the grass out and gives me a way to manage things and make it look nice. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about anything that I've shown you today, please let me know because I would love to just explore more gardening with you guys. And I don't know it all, but I can tell you what I'm doing. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.